Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast, presented by CVG. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Hope you guys are excited for today's episode. First up, we are joined by Jenny Schneider of Cruise Planners by Jenny and Rob. Jenny highlights the importance of having a travel agent and what is popular for travel in 2023. On NKY at Work, Ashleigh DuBois is joined by Dr. Eddie Howard, Vice President for Student Affairs at NKU. They highlight a new partnership between NKU and the NKY Chamber, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Training and Certification. It's a really great program. I hope you guys enjoy that conversation. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C-Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsor, Haran. We are less than 2 weeks away from the 5th annual Grow NKY Talent Strategy Symposium, STAY, a culture of retention. Attend this engaging half-day event as presenters lead roundtable discussions on ways to create and sustain a culture of stay. This year's event will also include an enlightening panel discussion on what motivates young professionals to stay and thrive at work. That event will be on Wednesday, March 8th, starting at 8 a.m. at the Kenton County Public Library, Erlanger branch. You can register now for that event at nkychamber.com/events. I won't hold you guys too long. Let's go meet our members of the week, hear from our sponsors, and Ashleigh and I will be back with your guests.
CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Lula's Catering has been creating unique boutique cuisine in the greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky area for more than 18 years. Brewed and Frothy Coffee Company is a woman-owned small batch coffee roastery with mobile coffee catering for local private events. Kendra Ramirez Digital Agency is an award-winning digital agency with deep expertise for a fraction of the cost of a brick-and-mortar agency. Whether it's understanding your customer, strengthening collaborations among your team, or building a roadmap to new opportunities, Heartwood Strategies helps organizations move from ambiguity to action. Established in 2007, Grandview Tavern features a well-seasoned staff and a friendly, fun environment with exceptionally fresh food.
Hi everyone, today on the podcast I am joined by Jenny Schneider of Cruise Planners by Jenny and Rob. You are the owner of that. So tell us a little bit about your business.
I bought my franchise from Cruise Planners end of 2021 with the intention of retiring and starting a new career. And this is always, this grew into what I wanted to do, my dream career, second half of my life. So started beginning of 2022. And it's been a great first year, and it's gearing up to be an incredible 2023.
Yeah, that is awesome. You got into, your background is in hospitality.
Yes, hotels.
Yes, in hotels. So you got into this more like vacation destination planning towards the end of when people were starting to like, I can plan a vacation again.
Yes.
How has that been?
It's been crazy, and they're very last minute. I know we briefly talked about your honeymoon, but it has been last minute. I will get a phone call that I want to go on a cruise in 6 weeks. And it's like, okay, let's do this. The good side is that there's been some incredible deals, but the challenging side, because there's never a bad side to vacations, The challenging side is that it is shorter it's all short term.
Right.
Or had been all short term. Now people are starting to plan out a year again.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, one of the things, like I said, so because I got married in that like very beginning of COVID, we bought the flight to go to Italy. We ended up getting our travel credits. And now I feel like so many people have those credits that are expiring and like, oh, I got to go right now.
Yes, yes. That now, our franchise is Cruise Planners, but our website is Travel Now by Jenny, and we do more than just cruises.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the very nice things that the cruise lines did, and almost all cruise lines did this, is they extended those credits to not expire.
Wow.
Initially, they were all going to expire, and then, late last year, they came out and said, you know what, we're not going to have them expire. So a lot of the better known, you can have those credits anytime you want.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah,
so
that is nice.
tell us a little bit, backtracking a little. So it's called Cruise Planners, but you guys do way more than that. So tell me a little bit about the services that you all offer.
Absolutely. We are travel advisors that help you create the vacation that you want. So we do land, air, sea. We do trains. We do private yachts. We do. If you think of it, we can help you create it. So my favorite is cruises. I'm not going to lie. I've never met anyone that went on a cruise that didn't have a great time. So, but yeah, we do everything. We do all inclusives. We do guided tours. We do self-guided tours. Home rentals. Yeah, really anything.
Just
you can
everything
think of,
you could
really,
do.
Yeah, it really is anything you can think of. We can help you.
That is awesome. And one of the things I know that you guys do on your website is promote a lot of like travel inspiration. So people who are, we're coming out of this COVID era of being locked in our homes every day and we're itching to travel. So tell us a little bit about what people can find on your website.
Absolutely. Website's a great resource, even if you're not going to use us as a travel agent. It's a great resource. We have an Inspire Me section, as you said, that has it'll go over hot items, what's booking right now. And a picture says 1,000 words, so there's tons of great pictures and videos on there. There's also travel restrictions. There are still some places that have some travel restrictions, and those are updated daily.
Mm-hmm.
So those are on there for you to look at. There's lots of different tools and resources. We have groups that go on there too, and some of the groups are open and anybody can jump in and take advantage of the group pricing. So there's just so many tools and resources on there to help you really plan and curate a great vacation or just inspire you. Travel brochures are on there.
Mm-hmm.
Location brochures are on there. So really anything you might need to help plan a vacation will be on there as well.
Yeah. And you said it highlights some of like the hot things right now. So what are people booking right now?
We're going back to Europe, thank God. It's wonderful. Italy has been incredibly hot. I got several different people headed to Italy. Mediterranean is very popular. Alaska is always up there in the top 10, always. Caribbean's, still out there, especially this time of the year, people want to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm booking a lot of Christmas tours for the next year into Europe on some river cruises and stuff.
Wow.
So that's a hot market. Yes,
Yeah.
planning ahead, especially on those, because it's such a small window.
Mm-hmm.
Those book about a year in advance. So those are booking up right now.
Yeah. So for somebody who is thinking about taking that trip now, people who have been waiting, 3 years to really get back out there, what are some things that you recommend right now people doing before they're booking these travel opportunities?
Well, this is the first 3 months of the year is the best time to buy because pricing is the best it's going to be all year. It's only going to go up from here.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen airfare really increase. and all the challenges that have been recently experienced are just going to cause that to continue to increase. So now's the time to get some really good deals, and it's for all-inclusives and cruise lines. This is what they call wave season, and then it's the best time to get the best value on those bookings.
Okay.
So.
And when we talk about traveling, obviously you are a travel agent. What are some of the benefits of working with someone like you and your husband who helps you do this as well?
Yes. Well, we have clients going out every week. And last week when they had the issue with the airlines, the FAA computer, we immediately start, okay, what's going to happen if this is only delayed an hour? I think we're okay because some of our flights got out before it happened, and then the other one, they were okay. But that's a main reason. You have somebody to help you. You're not stranded alone to handle this yourself with all those other people that are stranded. You have an advisor that can help you make course corrections as needed. I'm helping a couple people with some lost luggage from a cruise line. And the experience of the travel that we have already had the pleasure and of taking, of going into some of the ports and different places, we can give you some great tips and tricks to help you have a smoother, carefree vacation. So the expertise of locations is a great asset as
because you have also, you mentioned that you love cruises personally. Can you share with our audience how many cruises you've been on recently? Because it sounds like a dream, honestly.
Yeah, I've been on 6 or 7 within the last, 10 months. And, I've been to Alaska, I've been to Mexico, down in Los Cabos. I've been to Canada. I've been to Alaska. Lots of different cruises, and they've all been fantastic. So they're all different vendors too, different cruise lines, and they've all been great.
Yeah, that is so fun. And when you think about people when they're traveling, a lot of people have a travel bucket list.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that and how you're facilitating that for people.
Absolutely. I have a lot of clients that will call that say, okay, I have 2 states left to go to, and it's Hawaii and Alaska.
Oh yeah.
That's the big one. I have 2 states left, and so that's always exciting. I get excited and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to help you finish this list. So those are 2 big ones. Iceland is in the top 5. Greece is in the top 5. Italy is in the top 5. But those are, it's so exciting to help people really accomplish something that they wanted to do all their life. I have a couple going out, and it's been bittersweet. She feels like this might be the last cruise that they can go on, and so I'm so excited to be able to help them have that last hurrah. So there's a very selfish, emotional side that I love. My 35 years in hospitality just feed into this, and I just love helping people have just the time of their life.
Yeah, that making that dream come a reality.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
know, especially as like a younger married person. Like I shared, we had planned, to go on this big Italy thing, and obviously with COVID, we weren't allowed to go, and now it's just like, well, now what? Like, what's that next big trip? Like, when can we finally do this? There are so many people, just everywhere that have always been like, well, I want to travel. I want to do this big thing. So it's great that we have you guys and other member businesses that are really there to like help those dreams come a reality.
Yes, it is. It's awesome. And, revenge travel is a real thing. And trips are a little longer. Before we were trending before COVID to have more vacations that were shorter. And now we've gone back the other direction where they're becoming longer vacations. And, the other thing that we learned from COVID is that people can work from almost anywhere. So there are more leisure events where they're commingling the business and the leisure. You got several cruise lines that are going to very high-end internet, the StarNet. So really, you can work from a cruise ship. But who wants to do that?
Yeah,
Nobody
I mean,
wants
like
to
you
work
could
on
if
a
you
cruise
had
ship.
to.
Yeah, if you were forced. But yeah, nobody wants to work on a cruise ship. Yeah. So lots of different changes, and not all negative from COVID.
And when we think about how people can connect with you, if they are planning this trip or thinking about planning a trip, how can people get in contact with you?
The best way to get in contact with me is email, or going to our website and filling out some of those inspiration pieces, and that automatically will contact me and I can reach out. But jenny.schneider@cruiseplanners.com. I spend a lot of time on the phone, so frequently when you call, you don't get me because I am on the phone. Email is usually the quickest way. And our phone number at the office is 859-341-5093. We do have a message service. But quickest is email.
Email. Well, great. And then, Jenny, before I let you go, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers and listeners today?
Get out and travel. It's just I've never had a really bad vacation. Never had a bad cruise. Everybody just needs to make the most of that time and get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure talking with you.
It's great. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to the Northern Kentucky at Work segment of the podcast. I am Ashleigh DuBois, and I am here with my co-host, Dr. Eddie Howard. He's Vice President of Student Affairs at NKU and our sitting DEI chair. Dr. Howard, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, excited.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have some great things coming up, and we formed this amazing partnership with NKU to bring the certificate. So now that we have this new DEI certificate, can you tell us why this partnership was so imperative for our region?
Well, as you know, within NKU, we've done a lot of work in DEI, right? We think it's important for the work that we do with students. We have a whole area dedicated to the Center for Student Inclusiveness that works with our students on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our goal is to make sure that students, when they graduate, they leave there with this cultural set of competencies, so when they go into the workforce, they're ready to go. One of the things that we realize is that sometimes the workforce is not always as welcoming as we'd like it to be, right? So we're spending the time training our students and making sure that they have the skill sets and they've been exposed, they have the understanding that they need, and we make sure that happens with our faculty and our staff as well, that we create a welcoming environment for our students, a very inclusive environment. So we want to make sure that when they leave the halls of NKU, when they go into the workforce, that there is also this same feeling of being welcomed and included. And so what's the best way to do that? By making sure that the atmosphere for some of these sites that they may go to right here in Northern Kentucky have at least access to the training, right? And so we know a lot of times what happens is, we can provide the training, but there's no evidence of the training process. And so our certificate program really was designed to ensure that employers knew exactly what type of skill sets or what competencies they wanted, and then we could match that up with employers as well as individuals who want that training. What I love about the program is that it's customized, right? You have a variety of different options there based on what you're looking for. If you are an HR unit and you're looking to do some training there around hiring practices and things like that, we can help you with that. If you just want to get some general basic kind of DEI competencies under your belt for some of your staff, we can provide that for you as well.
Yeah. That's what I see a lot when I get those requests. Hey, we want to start this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it comes in the form of a question that's how do we fix this problem, right?
Absolutely.
Like, it's not a problem that we're going to fix,
but
it is one that we're going to learn every day. I kind of tell people it's almost like the dictionary. They send you a word a day, and none of us have ever mastered it. You're going to do that same thing on this journey, just one day at a time.
Yeah.
But as we keep navigating this, and I'm so grateful for this partnership on this certificate, who would you think should go through this certificate?
I mean, in my opinion, everybody.
I agree.
Largely because, even me as a person of color, a lot of times folks feel like just because I'm a person of color, I don't have any biases, right?
Exactly.
I don't have any cultural competencies I need to improve upon and gain, which is absolutely not true, right? We all come with our, because society is just built in that way. We come to the table with how we were raised, what we learned from our parents, what we learned from the people that were around us, what we learned from our coworkers, and some of that stuff has to be unlearned, right? So, and if that's the case, how do you begin to dismantle some of those things without having an environment where discussion can happen, right? And so that's why I love the work that we do, because it allows us to challenge all different aspects of how people present, right? Just because you're a member of the LGBTQ community, you may have some cultural bias that you're not aware of, right?
100%.
And so we want to make sure that I believe that the training is open, so no matter where you are, that you have the ability to know that there's some skill sets that you can brush up on. There's some things that you can learn from. And I heard this a long time ago from a colleague of mine that says, DEI work is hard work, it's dirty work. Sometimes it's not as rewarding, right? Because you have to challenge people to look at life in such a way that's totally different. And whenever time you have a person who does that, and I feel that kind of discomfort that they feel, that's growth. Right? And then that growth is really, really critical to understanding and being more culturally competent and understand the differences that we have as people.
Yeah. So when we talk about investment, so we built this so our business community can essentially join our students where they are. They're learning, they're growing every single day, they're expanding their mind. And we have roughly 5 generations in the workforce at any given time, sometimes 6, we're getting a little younger or older on both ends. How important is this investment in our community right now? 2023, you think we wouldn't have to have some of these conversations, but we do.
Yeah.
And now we have something to start. How important is that investment?
Well, if you look at the news every day, you look at what's going on in our world all the time, it's that no other time in my life have I seen so many different things happening. And I guess you could probably have it close to what we did in the civil rights movement, was how much there was so much chaos and things going on. We've had, in the last couple of years, we've been challenged, right, with what we believe, the insurrection, Black Lives Matter. Now we have, they've overturned Roe v. Wade. So there's a lot of things that are happening socially, right, in our country that we're wrestling with. And our Constitution says that everybody has the right to live their life the way they want, right? And they have these freedoms that are protected by the Constitution, but everybody don't necessarily recognize those freedoms, right? So, and that's what we're wrestling with. We're fighting with to make sure that I have a right as a person, as an immigrant, as a person who's been in this country all my life and been born here, that I have those same rights, and that we make sure that when you deny rights from some, you may deny rights for others. We don't want to do that.
Right.
And so I believe it's so important and so critical for us to continue that journey of ensuring that we make sure the table is available for everybody to sit. And if we can provide a level of training in even in such a small scale, right? Do you feel like you're going to make this such a huge impact?
Right.
And what can one certificate program do, right? How can it really change the overall mindset? But it changes in small places and pockets, right? And if I can change it in one boardroom, and then maybe I change it in a board meeting, then I change it in the company, and then the whole thing changes as a result of those small little efforts. And so our hope is that we can begin to have folks to say that this is something that's critical for our region. Definitely something we know that this area, and I've heard it from you most of us, that this area is becoming increasingly diverse.
Yeah.
We got people coming from all over to come right here in Northern Kentucky. Well, we have to be prepared for the employers that are to come, for the employees that are coming, for the folks that we're graduating out, and then making sure that the places they go into again are inclusive and have this sense of understanding so they can be successful. And at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that our region is successful and that we have the economic growth we can. And if we can see talent, regardless of what it looks like, and they can bring that talent to bear, to me, I don't think people care what you look like,
Right.
what your beliefs are.
Right.
If those talents can bring success to whatever I'm trying to sell, whatever I'm trying to move and motivate. Did that make sense?
Absolutely. That was awesome. Look, you got me sold. I think that was great. So I'm excited for everything we have going through. I think this is definitely step one in that process. I think a lot of people with our chief diversity officers, we're seeing some of them, their roles are being turned into something different as time keeps going on. So I think now more than ever, it's more imperative for all of us to come together because like you just said, the way I learned growing up and the way I'm going to view that certificate and all the information given to me is going to be different than yours. So when we both come into the room to have a conversation, it's a very robust conversation because we have these two very different perspectives looking at the same issue. But they're just different perspectives. So how we get there, like you said, we just want to get to that finish line.
That's right.
How we get there, I don't care.
Yeah.
You right, I'm right, I don't care. But let's get to that finish line. So I think this is awesome. Anything else you'd like to share about this?
I think the only thing I would add to our conversation is that I think a part of what we need to continue to do is being able to engage in civil discourse, right?
I agree.
Because this is going to be very tough conversations to have. It's going to be, for some people, it's going to be a tough introduction to say, somebody's going to walk into a room and say, hey, I think we need this.
Yeah.
I think, and what does that mean? What do you mean? Why do you think we need diversity training, right? You're like, and so people may be kind of standoffish in the beginning and going, I don't think this is something I'm ready to do. But the fact that you have enough courage to say, to recognize it, or to be receptive to the idea of let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because look around the table. We don't look as diverse as we should. And let's be able to have real dialogue, real civil discourse. And that's, I think, sometimes what people are afraid of, is to have those real tough conversations to challenge.
Yeah.
And so if we can get over that and see it as an opportunity for growth and engagement, I think we have a chance.
Yeah.
And so that's my hope. I hope that people are interested in what we provide. We have some very talented people at NKU that have the ability to provide the level of training and expertise. I'm just one of those folks that have a little bit of knowledge, but there are a variety of people that come to the table that can be very instrumental in helping our companies and helping our students. And in this whole region, really be a more welcoming and more diverse environment for all of us.
I love it. Well, you heard it here first. The DEI certificate is available. It's a collaborative relationship that we have, but it's also something that helps you get started. So if you're interested, we will make sure that you have that link. You can go to the Chamber's DEI website, and it is there so that you can find it. Or if you're interested, you can always email me, and we'll get you in touch. It is not cohort-based, so you can take it at your own pace. This journey is very much so customizable just for you. So if you're interested, reach out to me and or someone at the Chamber, and we'll help you. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon Schumacher, Account Executive, Kentucky Market Leader. At Haran, we champion bold innovation to help employers and individuals thrive. As an industry thought leader, we explore new horizons in healthcare, benefits, employee engagement, and wellness. We work harder to deliver all the strategic benefits, planning, and execution you expect from a true partner. And we do it with laser focus on your short and long-term outcomes to help manage your benefits while improving your employee experience.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning into the podcast today. I know that conversation with Jenny has me itching to travel. And if the DEI certification is something that you or your company is interested in, I encourage you to look at our website at nkychamber.com. Thank you again to our podcast sponsors, CVG, C Crew Consulting, and Haran. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're interested in becoming a member of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. Or if you're interested in sharing your workforce strategies and resources on NKY at Work, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find both of their contact information on the screen in front of you or at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thank you all again for joining the podcast. I'll talk to you next week.